question presented by Greenply, powered by Honda Elevate and Reliance Terra.
About 50 locations, at least 8 people linked to the Newsclick are raided by the Delhi police. Newsclick office is also sealed. Newsclick is charged under the stringent UAPA Act, accused of raising funds for terrorist acts. Foreign funding to the pro-China Newsclick is back in focus. The ED shares details with the Delhi police. There is a storm over Rahul Gandhi's Jitni Abadi Utna Haq formula. Party MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi first differs, then he deletes that tweet.
के दशकों के शासन ने देश को सिर्फ गरीबी दी है। कांग्रेस ने समाज को जाति के आधार पर बांटने का ही काम किया है ताकि इनका वोट बैंक सुरक्षित रहे।
That is the Prime Minister hitting out at the opposition over caste politics. He's asking, is the Congress then against the minorities of the country?
हैदराबाद में म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन में हमारी मदद कर दीजिए। मैंने केसीआर को कहा, आपके कारनामे ऐसे हैं, मोदी आपके साथ जुड़ नहीं सकता है।
In Telangana, the Prime Minister is launching the big BJP campaign, and he makes a big revelation. Says the Chief Minister KCR wanted to join the NDA, but I told him corruption cannot be a part of the NDA. Ladies and gentlemen, the political season has really kicked in. All sides are wanting to put out their planks. All sides believe that this is a do-or-die battle. The BJP believes it has a fair chance at the battle of 2024, and Narendra Modi is going to be leading that big campaign. But when you talk of the I.N.D.A alliance, there has been a lot of conversation about the fact they don't have a face, they don't have a niti, they don't have policies, they do not agree on basic issues. And we've heard this conversation for some time around. But in the last few hours, did the I.N.D.A alliance believe that they have managed to set the narrative for the big battle? Nitish Kumar, who once was doing business with the BJP, ever since he's parted ways, remember, again there has been a lot of those rumor mills going saying Nitish Kumar could jump ship, he is not happy where he is, he wants to come back to the NDA. Though we don't know whether Nitish Kumar will do that or not. But what Nitish Kumar has done is that he's managed to get this entire conversation and the ball rolling on caste census. He is the first chief minister in the country who spoke about it. He delivered it. That is how he would want that entire story to be told. But then the BJP, being the BJP, will obviously counter that claim. The Prime Minister today, he's been campaigning, remember, for the last few days for the winter elections in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, in Telangana. And the Prime Minister earlier today has put out a fierce counter to that entire narrative that has been built by the opposition on caste census. The opposition has been saying if the BJP is not against a caste census, why don't they ensure that we have a caste census throughout the country? So that you can identify how many OBCs we have in the country, how many targeted groups we have, and accordingly, you can have policies that can be set for them. Now, clearly, there has been a lot of politics at play. So what does the Prime Minister do today? The Prime Minister, many would say, has put the opposition in a tight spot. Now, you're just reading details of the statement that has been made by the Prime Minister. But quickly, I'll tell you how he's just managed to change the narrative within few hours. The Prime Minister says there is just one caste in the country, just one caste. I think about that caste, I work towards that caste, I deliver for that caste. And that is the only caste, he says, that matters in the country. Now, which is this caste that the Prime Minister is talking about? He says that caste is just the poor. सिर्फ गरीब एक जाति है इस देश में, says the Prime Minister. Then he also takes on Rahul Gandhi for having made that entire slogan and the coinage about जिसकी जितनी आबादी उतना उसका हक. The Prime Minister says, going by that narrative that the opposition itself has built, does this mean that they are against the rights of the minorities in the country? And then there is this flashback of a 2007 comment that was made by the then Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, about rights to the minorities and how the minorities have the first right in the resources of the country. So that is a spot. That is a weak spot right now for the opposition. The opposition, again, has not reacted much to that very fierce counter that has come in from the Prime Minister. But at the middle and the crux of this is the big battle between Kamandal and the Mandal politics. Are we seeing a redux of this? Now remember, the BJP has a core Hindutva vote bank, but they have topped that Hindutva vote bank with this OBC vote bank that has helped the BJP win elections in 2014 and 2019. It has swept the state of Uttar Pradesh, and that is no story now. But this narrative now that has been built in by the Prime Minister of a caste survey versus the real caste is the poor. How will the opposition really fight this? And is the BJP really against a caste survey as the opposition wants us to believe? Lot of questions, so we'll throw those questions to a panel of guests that join us. But first up, just to set the tone of this entire debate, let's play out excerpts and highlights of that big attack by the Prime Minister. And knowing him, remember, this is just the first salvo that he has fired.
अब कांग्रेस ने सत्ता भूख के लिए, सत्ता हथियाने के लिए एक नई भाषा बोलना शुरू किया है, नई बातें बोलना शुरू किया है. आजकल क्या कह रहे हैं? जितनी आबादी उतना हक. मैं जरा पूछना चाहता हूं कि जिन्होंने इनको वाक्य लिख करके दिया है, उसने सोचा है क्या? जब तुम कह रहे हो तो कांग्रेस की मूलभूत नीतियों पर ही सवाल खड़ा कर रहे हो. जब आप कहते हो जितनी आबादी उतना हक, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अब कांग्रेस घोषणा करे, क्या आप अल्पसंख्यकों के विरोधी है क्या? कांग्रेस स्पष्ट करे, आप दक्षिण भारत के विरोधी है क्या? मैं सिद्ध करता हूं, उनकी ये नई सोच दक्षिण भारत के साथ घोर अन्याय करने वाली सोच है. ये नई सोच माइनॉरिटी के पीठ में भी छुरा भोंकने वाली सोच है.
So the Prime Minister today, as he's launched that full frontal attack, this entire story, remember, has started from the state of Bihar. And Bihar, many say, could be the Achilles heel for the BJP. क्या वाकई में भाजपा की हालत इस समय बिहार में गड़बड़ है, जैसे नीतीश कुमार और तेजस्वी यादव कहते हैं, या भाजपा को ये लगता है कि अभी भी बिहार उनका एक मजबूत गढ़ है? इस कास्ट सर्वे से आगे क्या होगा? इन सभी सवालों का जवाब जानने के लिए हमारे साथ इस समय सम्राट चौधरी जी हैं, जो बिहार बीजेपी प्रेसिडेंट हैं. दिन में उन्होंने एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस को भी संबोधित किया. और सम्राट जी, लोग आपसे यही जानना चाहते हैं कि बिहार में तो भाजपा इस कास्ट सर्वे के साथ है. आप तो चाहते थे, आप खुद उस पूरे मंडल का हिस्सा भी थे जो ये चाहता था कि कास्ट सर्वे हो. बीजेपी का भी उसमें डेलीगेशन में हिस्सा था जो प्रधानमंत्री से आके मिलते हैं. लेकिन फिर गिरिराज जी ये क्यों कहते हैं कि ये भ्रम फैलाया जा रहा है?
नहीं, भ्रम इसलिए फैलाया जा रहा है, देखिए स्पष्ट है कि बिहार में जिस तरह के जातीय सर्वे किए गए, क्योंकि नीतीश कुमार जी की कथनी और करनी में बहुत फर्क है. नीतीश कुमार जी ने कहा कि हम जातीय सर्वे कराए. आज जब हमारे विरोधी दल के दोनों नेता वहां गए और उनसे पूछा गया कि आप ये जो मैकेनिज्म, कुछ कोई मैकेनिज्म तो आपने तय किया होगा, किस मैकेनिज्म के तहत आपने ये सर्वे का रिपोर्ट सार्वजनिक किया है, ये तो बताइए। कोई जवाब मुख्यमंत्री जी का नहीं आया। सम्राट चौधरी किस जाति से आते हैं और किस जाति के क्या आर्थिक स्थिति क्या है सम्राट चौधरी की, ये जानना था। इसका कोई रिपोर्ट नहीं है। ये सबसे बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है ना कि आप 1931 के जनगणना में नहीं है, जातीय सर्वे में नहीं है, हम 2023 के जातीय सर्वे में हैं। तो आज तो स्थिति स्पष्ट होनी चाहिए थी ना कि सम्राट चौधरी यदि कुशवाहा जाति से आते हैं तो कुशवाहा जाति के पूरे बिहार में कोई भी व्यक्ति यदि अब उनका नाम, पता, घर जानना चाहता है तो उसको या तो आरटीआई के माध्यम से या तो एप्स के माध्यम से या सार्वजनिक आप करें। यह मैंने कहा कि नीतीश कुमार जी एक नया घोटाला लालू जी के साथ करने जा रहे हैं। ये जातियों के साथ घोटाला कर रहे हैं।
नहीं सम्राट जी आप कहते हैं ये घोटाला है, लेकिन मुझे एक बात बताइए ना, आप जो ये सवाल उठा रहे हैं, आप जो सर सवाल उठा रहे हैं ये जेन्युइन है, लेकिन मुझे एक बात बताइए, आप बिहार भाजपा कास्ट सर्वे को लेकर अलग स्टैंड रखती है, लेकिन सेंट्रल भाजपा उसको लेकर खामोश है, और प्रधानमंत्री तो ये कहते हैं कि कास्ट सर्वे का मतलब आप हिंदुओं को डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, हिंदुओं को बांट रहे हैं। तो आप लोगों का एक स्टैंड क्यों नहीं है?
देखिए, नहीं, एकदम साफ साफ है। बिहार में नीतीश कुमार जी ने यह प्रस्ताव 2022 में लाया तो हम लोगों ने कहा आप कराइए, यदि सामाजिक संरचना को आर्थिक विकास देने के लिए
आपने उनका समर्थन किया ना,
तो जरूर करना
चाहिए। सुशील मोदी तो सर ये कहते हैं, आपके राज्यसभा के सांसद हैं, और वो तो ये कहते हैं कि हमें भी उसका श्रेय मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि सिर्फ नीतीश कुमार और लालू प्रसाद यादव अकेले इसका श्रेय नहीं ले सकते। तो वो तो श्रेय लेने की बात करते हैं।
नहीं, इसमें तो लालू जी कहीं हैं ही नहीं। लालू जी तो बाद के दिनों में चोरी के दरवाजे से मुख्यमंत्री बने, उप मुख्यमंत्री उनका बेटा बना, इसलिए लालू जी कहीं नहीं। लेकिन एकदम स्पष्ट है, बिहार भाजपा ने इसमें समर्थन किया, इससे मैं कभी डिफर नहीं करता हूं। और हम तो सरकार में थे तो 16 मंत्री ने इसमें समर्थन भी देने का काम किया। लेकिन यह सर्वे का काम था, यह जनगणना का काम नहीं है, यह सर्वे का काम है। और आर्थिक और सामाजिक विकास हो, इसके लिए यह चर्चा किया गया। और यह रिपोर्ट ही जब गलत होगा तो पूर्ण रूप से विकास कैसे होगा? हम जानते ही नहीं है कि कोई व्यक्ति का, उसका जात, वो कितने पढ़े लिखे हैं, उसकी आय क्या है।
सर लेकिन ये बताइए ना कि सेंटर के लेवल पर भाजपा की सरकार है केंद्र में, तो भाजपा की सरकार ये कास्ट सर्वे, कास्ट सेंसस क्यों नहीं कराती? उससे क्यों बच रही है? ऑपोजिशन कहती है कि आप लोग डर गए हैं कास्ट सर्वे कराने से या कास्ट सेंसस कराने से।
नहीं, डर इसमें क्या होना है? बिहार में कुछ थोड़े होना है। आज भी मैं स्पष्ट तौर पर कहता हूं बहन जी,
नहीं बिहार नहीं, पूरे देश में सर, पूरे देश में होना चाहिए ना। नीतीश कुमार ये कहते हैं कि कर्पूरी ठाकुर और वीपी सिंह के बाद मैंने ही पिछड़ों के लिए काम किया है।
नीतीश कुमार सिर्फ जिलेबी की
भाजपा, देखिए ना सर, भाजपा ये बताती है कि आपके ओबीसी प्रधानमंत्री हैं। भाजपा ये भी बताती है सर कि ओबीसी कितने आपके मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल है, ओबीसी के लिए कितनी योजनाएं ली हैं, लेकिन आप एक कास्ट सेंसस या सर्वे से क्यों बच रहे हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, भारत सरकार के पास अधिकार है जनगणना कराने का अधिकार, और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्पष्ट तौर पर इसमें स्पष्ट भी किया है कि हम जनगणना का काम करेंगे। राज्य सरकार सर्वे का काम करा रही है, तो बिहार की सरकार यदि राज्य सर्वे का काम करा रही है, ये तो सही से करे। ये मेरा कहना है कि नीतीश कुमार जी की सरकार यदि 1931 वाले ही सर्वे करना चाह रही है, कट एंड पेस्ट करना चाहती है, तब तो कुछ नहीं करना। यदि सही में इनका मकसद है कि बिहार के लोगों का आर्थिक और सामाजिक विकास होना हो, तो इसका सही से रिपोर्ट जारी करना चाहिए, सही ढंग से लोगों को बताना चाहिए। एक एक व्यक्ति जब भी चाहे तो खोलकर देख सके कि किस व्यक्ति का क्या जात है और क्या सर्वे में आया और क्या आर्थिक विकास हुआ कि नहीं हुआ इस समाज का।
नहीं नहीं, ठीक बात है सर। आप बहुत सारे सवाल उठा रहे हैं, लेकिन जो सवाल मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ आप उसका जवाब नहीं दे रहे। आप नीतीश कुमार पे सवाल उठाइए, आप उनसे ये पूछिए कि आपने सर्वे तो करा दिया, लेकिन आगे क्या होगा। ये एक वाजिब सवाल है, लेकिन मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि यही रणनीति सेंटर में, केंद्र के लेवल पे क्यों नहीं हो रही। ऑपोजिशन ये कहती है कि आप ओबीसी का अपने आप को नुमाइंदा कहते हैं, आप कहते हैं आप चैंपियंस हैं ओबीसी के, तो पूरे देश भर में करा दीजिए ना ओबीसी का सर्वे या सेंसस। और एक और बात है सर, जिसकी जितनी आबादी उतना हक, आपको लगता है ये नारा सही है?
देखिए, एक चीज समझ लीजिए, 1989 में जब बीपी सिंह की सरकार थी तो यही कांग्रेस पार्टी के लोग पानी पी पी के गाली दे रहे थे। और जब मंडल कमीशन आया 1977 में तो 12 साल लगे, कोई कांग्रेस की पार्टी की सरकार ने नहीं किया। भाजपा समर्थित बीपी सिंह जी की सरकार थी, उन्होंने, भाजपा ने समर्थन देकर मंडल कमीशन को लाया। मंडल कमीशन के आयोग के रिपोर्ट के आधार पर 27% यदि आज आरक्षण मिल रहे तो भाजपा का एक बहुत बड़ा सहयोग रहा।
आप इतिहास में जा रहे हैं, आप मुझे आज का भविष्य की बात नहीं बता रहे। आपसे आखिर में वही सवाल पूछूंगी। सम्राट चौधरी जी, आप बिहार में एक बड़े नेता हैं सर, और आप इस समय इंश्योर ये कर रहे हैं कि बीजेपी को
बिहार भाजपा का अध्यक्ष हूं,
लोकसभा सीट में 40 में से 39 सीट्स का सर, बिल्कुल कि आप
स्थिति में आपको
बिल्कुल, तो क्या बिहार भाजपा अध्यक्ष ये चाहते हैं कि केंद्र सरकार भी एक कास्ट सर्वे या सेंसस कराए?
देखिए, एकदम स्पष्ट है, देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी लगातार ओबीसी की चिंता करते रहे हैं। इस देश में दलित बहन को कैसे राष्ट्रपति बनाना है उसकी चिंता करते रहे, एसटी बहन को राष्ट्रपति बनाए उनको चिंता करते रहे, दलित समाज के लोगों को कैसे देश का राष्ट्रपति बनाना इसकी चिंता देश के प्रधानमंत्री करते रहे। और लगातार आरक्षण के कभी भी कोई इशू आते हैं तो देश के प्रधानमंत्री एक पिलर के तौर पर खड़े होकर सहयोग करने का काम करते हैं।
सम्राट जी, आपने बहुत सारे सवालों का जवाब दिया, लेकिन बहुत सारे सवालों का जवाब नहीं दिया। शायद आपकी कोई राजनीतिक कंपल्शंस है, पर आपने समय निकाला हमसे बात करने के लिए। क्लियरली बिहार की राजनीति और केंद्र की राजनीति अलग तरह से चलती है, और आपकी मुस्कुराहट बताती है कि आप खुद ये बात समझते हैं। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने हमसे बात की। थैंक यू। And I'll just take a moment to introduce our other guests on the show. And Nikhil Anand is a spokesperson for the BJP. Devjani Mitra is the RLJP national spokesperson with us. Parimal Kumarji is the general secretary of the JDU. Sumansi Raman is a political analyst. And Patabhi Ramkumar Reddy is the national spokesperson of the TDP. Good evening and thank you to all of you for your patience. And जिस सवाल का जवाब सम्राट चौधरी ने नहीं दिया, निखिल जी, वही आपसे पूछती हूँ, and then we'll start the debate. And I think Devjani is also getting a sense that that is a question that will be asked. You know, you welcome, you want credit for what has happened in Bihar vis-a-vis the caste survey. But then what is stopping the center from ensuring a similar exercise, Nikhil ji, on the national level? Or is the BJP scared as the Congress is alleging?
The situation of Rahul Gandhi is like नया मुल्ला ज्यादा प्याज खाता है। वो नए नए सोशलिस्ट बने हैं, राहुल गांधी से वो मटन बनाना सीख रहे हैं। और बहुजन समाज पार्टी ने कभी नारा दिया था,
निखिल जी पर्सनल अटैक्स दूर रखते हैं।
बट okay, my point
I know it's a raging issue, sir, but I just request you, no personal attacks against anyone, please.
Right. I would like to refer you to the parliament debate of 2010, when there was an extensive debate on caste census, and a consensus was arrived, and Congress accepted that caste census would be held in 2011, and it is the Congress party which held the caste census, which they conducted beyond the purview of Census Act and wasted 5,500 crore rupees. I want that Congress is seriously an anti-OBC, anti-social justice political party. These very people, they oppose the reservation policy of Karpuri Thakur. They put the...
Nikhil ji, you are also going into history.
And
You're also going
I
into
want to
history.
say
Why
that
don't you
we
tell
have
me the
seen-
current situation? Does the BJP want a caste survey or a caste census on the national scale or not?
See, if the situation is conducive and for a comprehensive and extensive caste census, you need to have arrived at a modality. You know, there are many castes which comes in ST. They are in OBC. The same caste, sub-caste is in EBC in Bihar. And like Valmiki is in ST. And in Andhra and Telangana, they are in OBC. There are many subcastes of Brahmin. They are in EBC and OBC in different states. It is not about the caste. What Nitish Kumar has done, they have brought a data that which caste consists
साउंड देके
of
करिए,
which number.
साउंड देके
My point is that where is the educational status of different communities? Where is the economic status of different communities? And what is the vision and roadmap?
No,
of
it's
Nitish
good.
Kumar
It's good that
to
you people are
utilize this?
asking so many questions of Nitish Kumar, and Parimal ji will respond to those questions, Nikhil ji. But you haven't answered the basic question. You know, you can ask कि ठीक है अब survey तो हो गया, what happens next? But the point is that
Given
Nitish
the
Kumar has
great
done
census
what
of
he
2011
promised. He's
at the
delivered,
center.
sir. And he says, and his party says, कि after Karpuri Thakur and Vishwanath Pratap Singh, he is the real champion of the OBC, not the BJP, as you've been
course.
claiming.
No. See, what Narendra Modi ji has done is he has taken a step ahead after Mandal Commission. He has given constitutional status to OBC Commission, NCBC. And this Vishwakarma
But
Yojana.
still you
it is
can't have a caste survey or a census in the country, Nikhil ji. That's the problem. Let me get in Parimal ji into the conversation now. Parimal ji, this is a question a lot of people would want to know. You know, you've done this, you've politically timed this to the upcoming state elections, and Nitish Kumar wants to show himself as a champion of the OBC. He wants to cement his position in Bihar because he continuously is going weak there. And he's also wanting to send out a message to the I.N.D.I.A alliance and to the Congress कि देखिए OBC की बात तो मैं ही करता हूँ और मैं ही deliver करता हूँ. But what beyond this, Parimal ji? Like what happens now?
Hello. As far as the question
Parimal
of
ji, can you
Nitish
hear
Kumar
us?
is concerned, one should be clear about this particular initiative to conduct caste-based counting. Actually, his objective is to ensure socio-economic development of the society. Okay? Actually, my leader never used caste and religion as the weapon of politics. His sole objective is to ensure balanced development of the society. On the caste-based counting conducted in Bihar, you see, every community, every caste, every particular person was counted and his socio-economic condition was assessed. And the intention of the government is to formulate the policy so as to ensure balanced and effective development of the entire community. Okay? So this particularly effort of the government is not intended to get political mileage at all. But at the same time, actually, you see the remark made by Narendra Modi.
No, Parimal ji, if the slogan is जिसकी जितनी आबादी उतना हक, so the opposition is asking कि Nitish Kumar must also represent that in his own cabinet. Yes, but he hasn't done that. Now,
actually, you see,
Parimal ji, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm being told we have a quick breaking update, and I'm just going to come back to all of you gentlemen and Devjani. I'm just requesting for your patience. There is a quick update in the other story also that Republic is tracking at this hour. We are given to understand that 2 arrests have been made in the Newsclick case, and one is Prabir Purkayastha, the other is Amit. They both now have been officially arrested by the special cell of the Delhi police. We are waiting for more details to come in and what happens from here on. You would recall that there have been raids that have been conducted through the day. There has been interrogation that does continue, and Prabir Purkayastha and Amit, I'm told, have been arrested by the special cell of the Delhi police. Shravan is joining us right now on the phone line. He has more details. Shravan, what more can you tell us?
Check.
Shravan, can you hear us? Shravan, can you hear us? Okay, some trouble right now connecting with him, so we'll just try to get him back. But let me quickly recap what we know about this. The Newsclick founder, remember, the editor-in-chief, Prabir Purkayastha, has been put under arrest. And along with another colleague of his name is Amit, they've been arrested now by the special cell of the Delhi police. This is coming after we have seen hectic activity through the day. We've seen raids also at multiple locations. The Newsclick office has also been sealed by the special cell of the Delhi police. Now, there is a limited statement that has come in. They say a total of 37 male suspects have been questioned at premises. 9 female suspects have been questioned at their respective places of stay, at the end of which they say further investigation is in progress, Shravan. And you're telling us that 2 accused, including Prabir Purkayastha and Amit now, have been put under arrest by the Delhi police.
Well, in fact, a confirmation now coming in from the Delhi Police Special Cell with regards to the action that has been taken. We can now confirm that in the Newsclick matter, 2 arrests have been made. Founder and editor-in-chief of Newsclick, Prabir Purkayastha, as well as we're given to understand an executive of Newsclick, Amit Chakravarti. Both have essentially been arrested by the Delhi Police Special Cell. I'll just quickly show you the visuals of the Delhi Police Special Cell. In fact, what we are given to understand a short while back, a medical examination was also done. 2 doctors were actually brought in for an examination to be done. Importantly, he has now been booked under the stringent anti-terror law, Deepthi. Important to point out this, because all this while he was essentially being probed in the money laundering case by the enforcement directorate, including the Delhi Police's economic offences wing. As far as this case is concerned, the Delhi Police Special Cell case is concerned, it is a case that was registered on 17th of August under various sections of the UAPA as well as IPC. We're talking about the anti-terror law. So far, there is no clarity exactly with regards to his alleged role and why exactly has he been booked under UAPA. That clarity hasn't really come in from the Delhi Police Special Cell. But by way of sources, what we can tell our viewers is that so far the investigation that has essentially been carried out by the enforcement directorate talks about the foreign funding that has come in particular the Chinese funding. That's the allegation that has been leveled against Newsclick as well as journalists who have been associated with that, because they have been accused of peddling the Chinese propaganda. How exactly have they substantiated that? They say that there have been digital evidence that has been gathered during the investigation when they have come across email conversations between founder and editor-in-chief of Newsclick and a man called Naval Roy Singham, who they allege is a close associate of the CCP. And in those email conversations, there have been instructions that have been passed by Naval Roy Singham with regards to what should be carried by Newsclick in the form of journalism, in the form of articles that were to be published, or for that matter, even documentary. Now, that's the allegation that has been leveled against him as far as the money laundering aspect is concerned. What really happens with the stringent anti-terror law? That clarity hasn't really come in at this point in time, because so far the investigation that was carried out by the enforcement director largely revolved around the money trail, looking into paper companies. For instance, the first tranche of money that came in the year 2018 was roughly about 9.56 crore rupees. This was by way of FDI. The second tranche of money that basically came in was by way of export of services, roughly about 76 crore rupees that we are talking about. Why is it questionable? Because they say that this was not really explained, number one. Number two,
Worldwide Media Holdings LLC. It's a US-based company in which the director happened to be Naval Roy Singham, and importantly, This very company, after that infusion of fund that took place, does not have any business activity. So which essentially means that this was a paper company through which the money actually came in. There was nothing to explain what was the reason for the remittance to take place. Export of services, that is roughly about 76 crore rupees. They haven't really been able to explain what were the services that were rendered by Newsclick. Hence, they've come to a conclusion that there was a direct Chinese funding that was actually taking place. And in lieu of that, there were basically, we are given to understand, Chinese propaganda was being peddled. We're just trying to see if there is, these are Delhi police special cell officers who are part of of this particular case. So, roughly, what we know so far is the enforcement directorate had to share with the Delhi police special cell, and thereafter this case has been registered. But once again, we'll perhaps have to wait for more information to come in from the Delhi police special cell as to why exactly have they invoked the UAPA charges. What we can tell our viewers is that about 37 male suspects have already been questioned. About 9 female suspects have been questioned by the Delhi Police Special Cell. Digital devices have been seized. In fact, if you take a look at the seizure memo that has also been accessed by Public TV, in which there is they've detailed out the sections under which these searches were being carried out. But some serious concerns being raised about the fact that whether at all there was money taken by this organization to carry out Chinese propaganda.
All right, Shravan, they're getting us more details of how the story has moved through the day and also of these 2 arrests now that have been made. This is the founder and editor-in-chief of Newsclick, Prabir Purkayastha, and the Newsclick's HR head, Amit Chakravarti, who have now been put under arrest. We'll also get our colleague Abhishek into this entire conversation, and he's, remember, also tracking the story, getting you more updates. Abhishek, why don't you, for the for the benefit of our viewers, just give us a larger sense of where does the investigation today stand, Abhishek? There are very, very serious charges. The UAPA has also been slapped in as far as this particular case is concerned. What have we heard?
Well, the details of UAPA particular actions which have been imposed clearly connect the activities of these people, including those 2 arrested now, the founder Prabir Purkayastha, one of them, to money laundering and to financial crimes and anti-national activity. So obviously those things are under investigation, and the agencies, I believe, must have had enough material to go ahead with the arrest. Remember, because in another case there is a stay put by High Court in terms of arrest of some of these people in the Newsclick case. So which means if the economic offences wing of the Delhi police has gone ahead and carried out these arrests, clearly suggests that there is more evidence and that makes the police confident that they can produce these people before the court and prove their point. Now, so far as Prabir Purkayastha is concerned, he, remember, has been under the scanner and investigation since 2021, early 2021. And the original offence was of the Enforcement Directorate, where the ED was investigating Newsclick and its links with the Chinese funding via Neville Roy Singham, the agent of the Chinese Communist Party. And the story subsequently, of course, has come out in the New York Times, Deepti, which pegged the figure at 38 crores of funding to Newsclick. The original ED investigation was, of course, about 76 crore rupees of foreign funding, which was shown as an export revenue. So Newsclick, which is a news website, earned 76 crore rupees by exporting some services, the fact of which Prabir Purkayastha could never explain. The other was that Newsclick got rupees 9.5 crore rupees, so roughly about 10 crore rupees by way of FDI, which is foreign direct investment. That takes the total to about 85 crore rupees, 86 crore rupees. And that's the scam which has been investigated both by the Enforcement Directorate and the Delhi Police now. We are told, and Shravan can confirm, that this investigation, even by the economic offences wing of the Delhi Police, has been going on for a while, and it goes to the Chinese Communist Party. The scam essentially is about money paid to peddle influence on behalf of China or present a narrative which sort of paints China and the Chinese state in a not so bad light, sometimes even good light. So for example, on issues like the India-China border, on issues like farmers' protest, on issues like Arunachal Pradesh and other communist literature, the Newsclick website and its content has taken a very soft view on China and Chinese machinations. So for example, those emails between Prakash Karat and Neville Roy Singham Deepti, in which Prakash Karat is clearly seen as saying that he is presenting good picture of the Chinese Communist Party, or the mails exchange between the troika of Praveen Purkayast, Vijay Prasad and Neville Roy Singham. I think those themselves, the content itself is damning. Now, how to prove it is something which the agencies have been working on. Whether this is connected with this soft paddling and this paddling of Chinese narrative is connected with the payments made. Now, imagine if the information that's coming out, if the likes of Paranjay Guha Thapurta have been paid 1 crore plus rupees or 70 lakh rupees in the case of or vice versa in the case of Abhisar Sharma, and those names need to be named because we have seen them on air since morning, and so obviously that explanation has to come. I mean, how much money you get for writing a column or an article? People do it for free also because they get a platform, and now you're getting paid in lakhs and crores. That's obviously needs to be investigated, which the agencies have been doing for a while, culminating with today's arrests.
Oh yes, so Abhishek, what we'll do now is we'll take it across also to Shravan, who's joining us live right now. Shravan, what more details do we have? Is there any statement that has been issued? And why don't you tell us more about what has happened through the day, Shravan? And what is expected in the next few hours?
Well, in fact, Deepti, I'll just quickly recap for our viewers who are tuning in right now. But before I do that, let me just quickly bring in my colleague Simran, who's got us the latest update as to what has really transpired in the last 30 minutes or so. Simran, I believe that the medical examination has already happened. A quick update on what's really happening.
So basically, Prabir and the other person, Amit, who has been arrested right now, officially on record, they were being questioned for several hours from the morning in the medical examination, not just of Prabir, but a lot of people who were interrogated for several hours, also in connection with the roles in Shaheen Bagh and protest has also been done. Now, they will be now produced tomorrow, likely in the Patiala House Court. And after the tonight, there is an entire time where there can also be more questions which can be seen on the same lines that they have been interrogated by the special cell of the Delhi police.
Well, that's the latest update coming in right now from my colleague Simran with regards to the questioning that has taken place so far. Roughly about 46 people is what we are being told connected to Newsclick have already been questioned, which also includes contributors to Newsclick. Why exactly have they been questioned? Remember, it's largely about whether at all there was some sort of propaganda that was being peddled. That's the allegation that has essentially been leveled. Importantly, with regards to the funding that was allegedly received over a period of 3 years, starting from 2017-2018, is what is being looked at this point in time. Because if you really look at the questionable infusion of the foreign remittance, it starts in the year 2018. When he was first questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, he was basically asked about his association from Neville Roy Singham, to which Praveen Purkayast had feigned ignorance. Only later on, when the Enforcement Directorate had provided material evidence to suggest that there was a close link with Neville Roy Singham, he did actually accept that they had received funding from them. However, having said that, he was unable to really explain what was the money used for, and that is exactly why he's now in the dock. Now, with regards to the Delhi Police Special Cell, why the investigation is a tad bit different than the Enforcement Directorate, that's because, remember, a stringent anti-terror law has also been brought in. Sections of the anti-terror law, UAPA, have been brought in, which essentially indicates that they are looking at anti-national activities that they may have indulged in. We do not know what is it that the Delhi Police Special Cell is essentially referring to, but by way of sources that what we have picked up with regards to the line of questioning, some of them were basically asked about their alleged role during the Shaheen Bagh protest, the anti-CAA protest that took place in other parts of the country, then of course the farmers blockade being the other issue. And the special cell perhaps suspects at this stage that there were instructions that were really coming in from China, which was being taken verbatim by the journalists associated with Newsclick, and an agenda was being driven which did not work in national interest. That is the reason why perhaps the stringent UAPA sections have basically been invoked in the FIR that has been registered. Importantly, this FIR was registered after the Enforcement Directorate had written to the Delhi Police Special Cell saying that they had come across fresh evidence and they had provided details of the evidence that was actually gathered by over a period of time. Because remember, they've been able to track down the person from whom the money was actually coming in. In fact, in the attachment order of the Enforcement Directorate, they've essentially made a mention of the fact that the money has been traced back to a person in China, and also talking about the fact that there were numerous paper companies which did not carry out any business activities. They were the ones who were basically providing the money to Newsclick, and this was coming in through various tranches of transactions that were actually taking place starting from the year 2018, and then within a short period of time we are looking at this kind of infusion of funding. Now, where comes the role of other journalists associated with Newsclick? For instance, Abhisar Sharma and as well as Paranjay Guha Thakurta. It turns out that this money that was actually coming in from a company linked to Naval Roy Singham in the United States of America, this money was further being distributed. This money went to the daughter as well as husband of Teesta Setalwat. Paranjay Guha Thakurta has allegedly received about 72 lakh rupees, something that he hasn't really denied when he stepped out of the Delhi Police Special Cell, but then again gave the twist that this was a journalistic activity that was being carried out. But the bigger question is that whether at all there was some sort of a propaganda and Chinese propaganda that was basically being peddled. That's exactly what the Delhi Police Special Cell is right now looking at. What really happens next, ladies and gentlemen? Important points that I would like to highlight right now is that you are looking at almost over 40 people who have already been questioned. There are contributors, there are those who've worked with Newsclick for a substantial period of time. In fact, we're given to understand that those who have been in a consultant role with Newsclick have also come under the scanner. But the larger picture essentially emerging that they are looking at anti-national activities that were allegedly indulged by journalists who were associated with Newsclick. Now, the broader picture here, ladies and gentlemen, when a Western media outlet had published a story, they basically spoke about Naval Roy Singham. This man, who is known to be a close associate of the Communist Party of China, and more importantly, there was a foreign funding that was being done, the funding that came in from China, and it was going to media outlets in various countries. As far as India is concerned, it was going to Newsclick. That's the allegation that has been leveled against Newsclick. So these are some points that are basically emerging. We'll perhaps also try and go across to our reporters in a short while from now, getting us the latest details. But let's just quickly tell you what's really happening right now in terms of the investigation that has been carried out so far, and the questions essentially being raised right now, whether at all they would be able to perhaps go through the details of it and scrutinize it before the court. He would be produced before the court sometime tomorrow is what we are picking up. Abhishek, if you can also come in on this point. The question that many are raising at this stage is where is the UAPA charge really coming in from? The fact of the matter is that while the Delhi Police Special Cell, they haven't really come on record to say what have they really found out in terms of anti-national activities that they are talking about. But the very reason why this has been invoked only goes on to indicate that perhaps some evidence has come to the nature which they believe tantamounts to anti-national activities and perhaps a violation resulting in these charges being invoked.
Shawan, you are right, and so you see, we have to understand that the UAPA does not kick in only when explosions take place, when bombs are hurled, when people are killed and mayhem rules. UAPA is a holistic anti-terror law which takes into account anti-national activities, which takes into account anything done which compromises India's unity and territorial integrity, which takes into account financial crimes, which takes into account any activity which is detrimental to India's progress. And so I think all these sections pertaining to financial crimes, particularly within the UAPA, have been imposed. Section 17, for example. And I believe the fact that despite stay from the courts in another case of the Enforcement Directorate, Shravan, with some of these accused, the fact that the Delhi Police Economic Offences Wing, after due diligence, after investigation, after questioning of many of these people, has gone ahead and arrested two, including the founder of Newsclick. It is clear that they have evidence, substantial evidence, and they are confident that this evidence can hold its ground before a court of law, and that is why they have gone on ahead and arrested. Remember, of all the 8 or 9 people questioned, only 2 have been arrested. So obviously a due process is being followed. The questions that have been asked of all the suspects or accused, the questions and the material that has been collected, the electronic evidence which would come out of the gadgets that have been taken in, obviously take the investigation agencies further in the direction of connecting the dots insofar as Newsclick as a platform and its information peddling or its content peddling, which presents a soft view of China, peddles Chinese Communist parties, Chinese Communist state narrative, or presents them in good light or does not present them in bad light on issues like the India-China standoff, border standoff in Arunachal, in Ladakh, or the manner in which we have seen emails coming out of between Neville Roy Singham, the Chinese state agent, and Prakash Karat, the then chief of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, where Prakash Karat is actually saying that in at least 2 editions of the Communist Party mouthpiece, he has presented a good picture of the Chinese communism. So obviously those things have to be proven in a court of law, but then that's the premise on which the investigation has gone on. Way back from 2021, the first case was registered by the Enforcement Directorate. You have been closely tracking, Shravan. But the fact that these 2 have been arrested now, Prabir Purkayas, the other one, I believe you have your reporters on the ground, Shravan. They can help you piece together what evidence against these specific 2 people has made the agencies believe that they should go ahead and arrest. So, for example, the fact that Prabir Purkayas could not explain what export of services happened which justified 76 crores of funding, foreign funding, what was provided for getting foreign direct investment of about 9.5 or 10 crore rupees. All those aspects are something. The fact that in 2018, Neville Roy Singham invested in Newsclick, buying a share worth only 10 rupees at a inflated price of 11.5 thousand rupees. So I think those are some aspects which the agencies obviously have investigated, and perhaps they are closer to some evidence based on which they have gone ahead and carried out these arrests. Shravan, if your reporters can fish out or have fished out more information about what that evidence is based on which the 2 arrests have been carried out in the evening.
That's right, Abhishek. In fact, we're trying to perhaps piece together on the basis of which 2 arrests that have taken place so far. A total of about 46 people have already been questioned by the Delhi Police Special Cell. In all likelihood, there is a possibility that once again tomorrow, that few of them who were questioned today would once again be called in for questioning. As we understand, during the course of the investigation today, there was a reluctance, resistance that was posed by those who were brought in to submit their digital devices, which the Delhi Police Special Cell said as per the warrant that was actually issued, they wanted to go ahead seizing the electronic devices. Large number of electronic devices have already been seized, which would essentially mean that in the days to come, a perusal of the evidence, the digital evidence that has been gathered so far, and what really emanates from the evidence, from what they have collected so far, piecing together, perhaps would be able to then give the bigger picture. But what is abundantly clear from the action that has been taken so far is the fact that they are looking at some anti-national activities that were allegedly committed by those who have been associated with Newsclick. And second is, of course, the dubious funding that was received by Newsclick over a period of time. We looked at the time period that we're talking about. It starts from the year 2018. In fact, in the questioning that done by the Enforcement Directorate, Prabir Purkaista did make a mention of the fact that in 2017 he was first introduced to Naval Roy Singham, and thereafter it led to the kind of business proposals that were given and the flow of funding that took place starting from the year 2018. And over a period of just about 3 years, they've roughly received about 86 crore rupees, and they believe that all of this has now been linked to China. In fact, in the attachment order, the provisional attachment order, they make a mention of the fact that there are multiple companies that have come under the scanner. These companies are paper companies with no business activities, and despite that, they were basically bringing in, they were funding. As far as Newsclick is concerned, they're also accusing them of jacking up their share prices. For instance, they're saying that the share price is of about 10 rupees. It was jacked up about 11,000 rupees. This coming in from a loss-making entity. That is what the other aspect that they are also looking at. But of course, these charges that have been leveled under various sections of the UAPA, section 16, 17, 18 and 22C, there is some development now taking place, perhaps a senior officer leaving from the Delhi Police Special Cell. In fact, that is I.N.D.I.A Dhaliwal leaving from the Special Cell Office, Special Commissioner, Delhi Police Special Cell, leaving right now after the arrest that has taken place. I.N.D.I.A Dhaliwal has just left. Roughly about 500 policemen have been working on this particular case. Remember, this is over the last few days, they've been completely tight-lipped about this operation that would have been carried out in a large scale. We're talking about over 100 locations, a total of 100 locations where these searches were carried out. This was not restricted only just to the national capital, but also in other cities like Mumbai, for instance, and also in the NCR region where these searches were carried out. Stepping at a short break, on the other side, news and updates continue.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
हेलो एवरीवन, बहुत जल्द रिपब्लिक डिजिटल आपके सामने, आपके मोबाइल तक आने वाला है। इसलिए एक सवाल जहन में कि आपका और हमारा कनेक्शन क्या है और क्यों है। आपका हमारा कनेक्शन इतना पक्का और मजबूत इसलिए है क्योंकि हम न इसकी न उसकी, न तेरा न मेरा, सिर्फ एक पक्ष की बात करते हैं और वो है राष्ट्र का पक्ष। ये राष्ट्र ही हम सबको एक सूत्र में जोड़ता है। इसलिए रिपब्लिक कंट्री फर्स्ट की बात करता है। ये कंट्री फर्स्ट हमें कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक और अहमदाबाद से अरुणाचल तक जोड़ती है। इसलिए रिपब्लिक डिजिटल जल्द ही आ रहा है। 9 तारीख को रिपब्लिक डिजिटल लॉन्च हो रहा है, तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ।
नमस्कार, आपके साथ मैं सुचारिता कुकरेती, रिपब्लिक भारत से। आपकी सोच, आपके विचार आपको रिपब्लिक मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर नजर आते हैं, सुनाई देते हैं। आप जानते हैं कि रिपब्लिक के लिए राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि है। अब वही सोच और वही विचार आपको रिपब्लिक के डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पर भी मिलेंगे। इसीलिए आपसे कह रहे हैं कि स्विच टू रिपब्लिक डिजिटल ऑन October 9th।
Hi everyone, as I told you some time back that we are going to be launching Republic Digital soon, and this is the platform on which I'll be giving you daily updates on how Republic Digital is preparing to launch. Why I feel there is a crying need for Republic to enter the digital medium in a big way. This time we are going all out. Video, text, streaming, various verticals. Every single subgenre of news is going to be looked at. I promise you one thing: straightforward news, pro-nation content, breaking news, exclusives, and very clear opinion, very absolute clarity about where we stand on issues. So Republic Digital is launching on the 9th. its heart, soul, and the belief that this country needs to live, swear by just one slogan: nation first. People who believe in three things. If you believe that the digital news media has not served national interest well, then you believe in my ideology as well. Second, if you genuinely believe that the funding of some of these digital news companies is opaque, not clear, not transparent, that they are lying to you, that they say they have no money but they have forms of foreign funding which make their editorial base and intent questionable. We must give it back to these groups, expose them, and therefore that's the kind of believer who I want on our side. And you and Republic believe in the same thing, and all of us believers must come together.
If you believe in our ideology, which is only and only to put Bharat first, India first, nation first, no matter the situation, no matter the cause, with all the straightforwardness of intent in my heart and the passion and commitment of the Republic Media Network, join me, reject the anti-national media on digital. Join me on the Republic Digital WhatsApp channel. If you believe that the time for an anti-national digital news media in India is over, if you believe that journalism is not a narration of an anti-national agenda, an agenda against the nation, if you believe in our ideology, which is only and only to put Bharat first, India first, nation first, then this is my personal appeal to you. Join the Republic Digital WhatsApp channel. Believers who believe in the true power of Bharatiyata, who are unafraid to make it their only cause. Therefore, if you believe in my ideology of nation first, it's very easy. The code is on your screen. Please join the Nation First community on the Republic WhatsApp group.
We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka. If you commit to the Republic Digital channel, you commit to put nation first. Therefore, I want you, if you are a believer, if you are sick and tired and done and dusted with this so-called digital media that is obsessed, so many parts of it, constantly putting down the country, constantly spreading negativity, then please join our WhatsApp channel.